Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. This is Zophar, and welcome to my team selection video for Game Week 4. The international break is almost over. The Premier League is back tomorrow. Let's revisit by starting to look at our last week. Last week was a bit of a horror show. The only returns were from Poro's Defcon, Rodon's clean sheet, and Joao Pedro's goal. The player who I brought in to captain Cunha lasted only 30 minutes. I think that was a bit of bad luck. There's no point really stressing over that. But look at some of the other picks. I think Murillo and Sells, obviously the stock has gone down with Ange's appointment, but I'm happy to hold them at least till the game week 6 fixtures. Wirtz hasn't looked great, I know, but we can give him at least the next couple of games. Reinders still a good pick at that price. The two Villa guys are a bit of a concern with them not scoring a single goal so far. They're the only team in the top four divisions of England yet to score. But again, it's a bit of a fixtures play. But if they do disappoint in game week 6, I might potentially move Watkins on. It's a TBD situation, but no rush to get rid just yet, primarily because of the fixtures. And I do hope the new signings will have some sort of impact as well. A plug for our Discord. We're still doing 16% off on annual membership. So you can sign up using the link in the description or the QR code you see on the screen. You get access to our Discord. You get exclusive content. You have Q&A sessions. I just posted the thread before. Community tournaments, merchandise, which we'll be rolling out soon as well. You can also play the club football game with us and the other guys on our Discord. You can scan the QR code or the link in the description below. It's a fun, easy to play game, free to play, free to download, and available anywhere in the world. All the data you see in this video is from the Fantasy Football Scout members area. The 14-day trial, in fact, is expiring today. So you can scan the QR code or use the link in the description to support us and join Scout. Now, first up, let's look at the impact of Ange's appointment at Forest and how the bookies have shifted the clean sheet odds significantly for them. Right now, game week 4, obviously, Forest are away to Arsenal is not great. But in game week 5, there are 31% clean sheet odds. Liverpool are the highest that week at 39, and then you have Villa at 34. So third highest from game week 5, and then go to game week 6, they're the second highest at 44, with only Man City having more. So in the short term, I think they're a hold, but then around game week 7 is when you potentially look to move them on for the Arsenal guys, maybe Man City guys, because those fixtures perk up a lot, even Newcastle's around then. Now, midfielders are obviously a big topic. You have Cunha, Palmer, who are likely to be out this weekend, Sarr as well. So a lot of us are in the market for a midfielder. So let's look at the stats so far and keep in mind, obviously, this is a 3-game sample size. So even if a player has one chance that was a very high XG, let's say like Boomers against Burnley, that's going to take them very high up in the table because outliers right now naturally have more of an impact in a small size of data. That being said, I think Boomo is a great pick. He looked to be playing on the counter, I guess, in the next 2 games. Could do well. We obviously lost Sarr to injury. Semenyo is probably my top pick. He's got 5 big chances so far, 1.95 XG. And we'll talk about Bournemouth's fixtures in the next slide. They're very, very good. Grealish, if you're looking for an Everton mid, something a little bit cheaper at 1.61, I think Samurai Jack is going to thrive under Moyes and he looks absolutely revitalized. Endai also good from the same team, but of course I prefer Jack, as I mentioned on the pod as well. Apart from that, is actually slim pickings. You probably won't go Brennan Johnson. There's obviously Simmons at Spurs, who's an option. Could be interesting. We just don't know enough there yet. Gakpo features right at the bottom over there, but the whole Liverpool situation with Isak might change now, right? Not somewhere you really want to go now, despite the next 2 fixtures being great. Paqueta, again, non-penalty XGI, not much over here. He's somebody I am looking at. The lack of activity you see over here from Paqueta in terms of shots in the box or creativity is non-existent, nowhere near in the top 20. Like the fixture schedule we talked about. Now, Spurs obviously right on top over there. Very good schedule all the way up to game week 11. Leeds a little bit less interest to us. With Wolves, from game week 5, the schedule is when it really improves. You have Leeds in game week 5, and then they play Sunderland and Burnley in game week 9. So in the space of a 5-game week period, they play 3 promoted sides. And Brighton, the Tottenham fixture obviously away, isn't that great. West Ham fixtures also are decent. Again, for me, looking at Paqueta's Tottenham, Palace, Everton, Arsenal, Brentford, Leeds. And again, he's somebody I won't necessarily be playing every week, potentially rotate him in and out as needed. Bournemouth, I think, is a bit unfair. They're in the bottom 5 on the scout ticker. Hear me out on these fixtures. There's Brighton, Newcastle, Fulham, and Forest. These are the next four. I think that's the next 6 fixtures. There are 4 home games, right? Like I mentioned. And the away games are Leeds and Palace. And the NFO fixture, as we know now, is a lot more attractive for your attackers. So I think Bournemouth bids, the stock goes up significantly this week. Top attacks over the next 6. Let's look at the projections over here. Liverpool still projected to be on top, and they're top for goals this week and the next week. That's 2.4 and 2.2. After that, you can see in game week 6 and 7, it takes a bit of a dip. Then it improves after game week 8 and 9 as well. So, will I shift Haaland in game week 6? Will I free hit him in game week 6? We'll talk about the options I can take down the line over there. But Man City from game week 6 look like they definitely wanted some kind of investment. And I don't think just Reinders will be enough. Villa are still in 7th. I mean, the bookies had them pretty high at the start of the season as well, but we fell foul of that. Game week 5, 6 are good, but game week 7 is really the big one. Palace, for those looking at you investing in Mateta, they're 1.7 this week, but as you see, the numbers have been adjusted with their injuries with Sarr and Wharton out. Bournemouth are in about 6th or 7th, always very healthy in Areola's side for goals scored. Looking at this week, and we will tie this into the free hit discussion, which we do in the next slide. Liverpool are top for projected goals, 2.41. Arsenal, Man City, and Newcastle. You'd expect that with Newcastle playing Wolves, Liverpool away to Burnley. But that being said, if I had to captain a player, I think it would be Haaland over Salah for me. I think that Manchester United game could be quite open, and I think Burnley will just try to park double-decker buses. I think it'll be more like a 2-0 win for Liverpool, not necessarily a blowout, but I think the Manchester derby could have goals. I think both sides are pretty poor at defending right now. Palace at 1.69, despite being home to a promoted side, shows you that adjustment over there. That's Bournemouth at Brighton, playing Brighton rather. It's about the same. That tells you where the bookies have adjusted Palace's expectations a little bit. Clean sheet, obviously, Arsenal right on top, along with Liverpool, Newcastle, and Palace. Looking to bring in a defender this week, I think an Arsenal one, this is a good entry point. First up, let's look at the free hit draft that I've made. Raya will be the starting goalkeeper, Dubravka backup. Starting back three would be Munoz, Trippier, and Richards. Sorry, not Richards, Anderson. With Richards and Rodon on the bench, you don't necessarily want to double up on Palace, right? In midfield, Eze, Salah, Gakpo, and Semenyo with King as a sub. Up top, Mateta, Ekitike, and Gyökeres. So what I've done over here, I've tripled up on the Liverpool attack, doubled up on the Arsenal attack. And then you have Mateta and Semenyo as the other attackers. And in defense, we've got with Fulham, Palace, and Newcastle, who we also have very good clean sheet odds the last week. Last slide. A wildcard draft. Now, we discussed this on the pod, so I won't spend too much time on it. Petrovic in goal with Dubravka, Munoz, Anderson, Rodon, Tossin, and Senesi. Again, all good DEFCON guys. If you're a bit short of money over here, you can go Munoz to Lacroix. Not that big a downgrade, in my opinion. Might even be an upgrade over the long run. All depends on how you're going to spend that money. Grealish, Salah, Paqueta, Dewsbury Hall, Semenyo. I don't mind going Reinders instead of that Paqueta spot even. But I do think Paqueta as a set and forget DEFCON monster could just be good. But over here, the balance is a little bit off with Paqueta and Dewsbury Hall. You're going to be playing one of them every week, right? Along with Grealish. Haaland, Joao Pedro, and Mateta up top. Now, this is my team. This is how I'm set up going into game week 4. I have 2 free transfers and 2.5 million in the bank. Sells in goal with Dubravka on the bench. Porro, Richards, and Anderson starting in defense. Wirtz, Salah Cap, Reinders, Cunha, Rogers, Joao Pedro, and Watkins. Rodon, Murillo, and Guiu, the other guys now. I want to ideally bench boost in game week 5, but I'm not entirely sure about that right now. Let me discuss some of the parts. First option is do Cunha to Guiu to Paqueta or Gyökeres Paqueta and Gyökeres this week with Rogers on the bench. Good for the long term. I sort of get in Gyökeres ahead of that fixture turn in game week 7. But again, I'm not that convinced on Paqueta, nor am I that convinced in Gyökeres. I want a little bit more time to judge before making those moves. Second one is Cunha, Guiu to Semenyo and Mateta. Keep in mind, option A and option B both have 0.0 in the bank. So I'd have to probably do those moves on Friday night. Again, Rogers bench in this one, but Mateta's fixtures after this one, are they that great? Is he going to get the service? Not really sure. Option C, and this is what I'm favoring right now. I can do Cunha to Semenyo this week, save the second free transfers, and play Rogers. Next week, if I still want to bench boost, I can get Larson in if he's fit. He has a good fixture that week against Leeds. And then what this allows me to do in game week 6, it gives me exact money to do Salah to Palmer and Watkins to Haaland. Get in ahead of the fixture shift and sort of avoid the free hit in game week 6. Get Palmer and Haaland in for those good run of fixtures. Again, 0.0 in the bank for this. Do I need to bench boost? I was just having a look. My bench next week would probably something like Reinders, Rodon, and whoever I bring in for Guiu and Dubravka. It's not that great. It was looking much better when I potentially had Nuno at Forest. We could hope for a 0-0 at Burnley, but now I'm not even sure I will bench boost. Is something I will assess next week if I see some other priorities for the use of my money or transfers. I might skip the bench boost entirely and do it in 8 or just do it whenever I feel like later on down the line. It's not a chip that should really influence my strategy. too much. So let me know on your thoughts on my transfer path. If you've enjoyed the video, do hit like and subscribe. LR has already published his video and Pras's video will be out very soon today. He's waiting for the Strand Larsen news. Thanks for joining us.